Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Xcoder-Ayush. In this tutorial, we will learn API integration using Async await and will implement UI using SwiftUI framework. Also, we will use MVVM architecture. Okay guys, so let's start creating new Xcode project. Okay guys, so we have created our new Xcode project in SwiftUI, and for API integration we have one open source URL for get method. So let's check this URL and see the response. So we have this open source URL. If we hit this URL in the web browser, so we got this response. Now we have to convert this response into JSON model. So let's copy this response and go to quick type. So here we will generate our response into JSON file. So this JSON model is generated. Now copy this, go to our Xcode project. Here create new file, name it as user model. Okay, paste that JSON model here. Okay, this is not required for now, and let's rename this user model. Okay, for all the properties let's add optional, because maybe some value nil from the response and maybe we can face some error while API calling. Okay, cool. So our model class is ready. Also, let me rename this content view as user list view. Okay, now we will write API integration code. So again I have to create new file, Swift file, web service. Okay, so final class web service. Okay, so static function get users data, and here we will use async throws and return type. Return type is our model, user model, which is our response. Now take that URL string. Okay, now card let URL equal to URL string, URL string, else throw. So here we have to throw error. Okay, so for throwing error, let me create one error cases for handling this error. Let's take it localized error. Now create case. So first case is invalid URL. invalid URL. Create one error description. Self case dot invalid URL. So let's take return invalid URL found. Okay, so here we will throw error cases dot invalid URL. So now let data response try await URL session dot shared dot data from URL. So URL is URL. We are taking this URL. Okay, so now using this URL session we have integrated the API part, and after that we are getting data and response. So here we have this await keyword. Let's take guard let response equal to response as http URL response and response dot status code equal to 200. If our response is not successful or we are not getting the proper response, then again it will throw some error. So let's create one more case invalid response. Let me add this case here also. Case dot invalid response. Let's return invalid response found. Okay, so here take error cases dot invalid response. Okay, so till now we have handled invalid URL and invalid response error. Okay, so now let's decode this response. Do okay, so let decoder equal to JSON decoder return try decoder dot decode. So here we have to give type. So our type is user model dot self. This should be inside the array because we are getting the response as array format. Now here take this data which we got from here. Now catch block, throw. Here we have to throw some error. So error cases dot here while decoding our JSON response, if we are not getting the proper data, so here let's take one more case invalid data. Okay, let me add this case here. Case dot invalid data return some string message. So invalid data found. Okay, invalid data. Okay, so till now we have added the code for API integration. Okay, so I am doing one thing. I will create one separate file for this enum error cases. Okay, fine. Okay, everything looks good. Okay, so now we will create view model for this user list view. So let me create one new file, user list view model. So let's start creating view model code for API integration for now. So final class user list view model, observable object, we will use this one. After that, let me create one function for getting the response or API call, get users, async do let users try await web service dot get user data, print users, and we will get some error. So catch let error print error dot localized description. So let me call this API in our view. Okay, so just for checking API call is successful or not, so on appear, here we will call API. Oh, so for that we have to create one instance of view model first here. So the observed object property wrapper where view model equal to user list view model. Okay, so here view model dot get users. Okay, so this is asynchronous call. So just for handling we will write await keyword, invalid conversion from async function type to synchronous function type. Okay, we have to write this code inside the task. You can see this, a unit of asynchronous work. So now let me run the app and see the response. Okay, so we are getting the response. Okay, so we can do one more thing. We can replace this code with, we have one function here dot task, so we will directly paste the code here, remove this one. This is another way to handle this async await call. Let me run the app again. Okay, we are getting the response again. Okay, so this is fine. Now let's start implementation of UI part. Okay, so before implementation of UI, let me restructure this folder and files. So let me create one folder. Let me select user list, user model and user list view model. New group from selection. This is for user list. Okay, so user list view, user list model, user list view model. Okay, this is fine. And this web service and error cases, let me create one separate folder, web service. So let me remove this code first. Now let me take navigation stack. Okay, so here we will create list. And here we need that response. So view model dot. Okay, so first we have to create one property here, publish, where users, user model. Okay, so here we will take this value users equal to users. So this one, let me do one thing, self.users. Okay, users, and this is for this one. So here view model dot users, and this is actually, this users is actually optional, so let me pass default empty array. We have to add id, so slash dot id. Okay, have to user in. Now we have to create one image, one profile. Let me do one thing, async image URL string. So user dot avatar URL. Okay, so this is optional. Here we have image. So let's do some resizing of this image dot resize label. After that, set aspect ratio. Content mode dot fit. Let me give shape circle. Okay, and take placeholder. We can take circle dot, let me give some default color, foreground color dot, let's give some different color, teal. Sorry. Okay, and after that let me set the size. This is currently looking very big, so let me take frame width, so let's take 50. Height is also take 50. Yeah, now it's looking pretty much good. Okay, so with this profile icon we need one label or text here for name or anything. So we have to do one thing, we need to wrap this inside edge stack. Okay, so now let me take one text, user dot login, let me give some font style, dot headline, and let me do this one is capitalization, capitalized string. Okay, so this looks like this, so our UI looks like this. If you want two text here, then do one thing, take one V stack here, take another text, user dot, let's take some URL. Okay, and give some font dot take sub headline. Okay, so currently this is coming like this, so let me do one thing, let me set alignment for this V stack. Alignment will be from leading. Okay, now our UI looks good, much better. Okay, let me add navigation title. Okay, so our navigation title is also there. Now we have to add one activity indicator or progress view while API call. So let me take one set stack white dot ignore save area. So take this here. Now above this we have to display activity indicator or progress bar. So let me do one thing, just for checking, I am adding progress view here. Okay, you can see this small progress view is indicating. Let me give some attribute, scale, effect 1.0, anchor dot center, and progress style circular style, tint color dot suppose red color, just for seeing. Okay, red color is variable to see. Scale, if you increase this value, then activity indicator or this progress view will looks little big. Okay, so now we have to hide and show this progress bar based on our API call. So let me do one thing. Let me create one property here to handle this loading. Published where is loading value will be false by default. So when API will start calling is loading, then loading, and after completion is loading equal to false. So let me go to here. Let me add the condition if view model dot is loading. If this value will be true, then only you will see this progress bar. After API call success, here we are setting false value, so we will not able to see the loader again. Okay, so let me run the app and we will see the progress bar. Okay, nice, it is working fine. Okay, now we have to handle the error part. Like suppose we are getting the error, then how we can display. So we will display one alert pop-up for now. Okay, so for that we will take dot alert. Okay, so we need one bool value here. So this background thread is not allowed. Make sure to publish values method. Okay, so let me do one thing. Let me write main actor here to avoid this warning. Let me run the app. Okay, now let me take one property for showing error alert is should show error. By default value is false, and also we okay, so we are getting error here. So let's set self dot should show error equal to true. Also we need error message. Okay, this is dollar is not required here. Published where error message. Okay, self dot error message equal to error dot localized description. Okay, let me remove this print statement. So let me set view model dot should show error alert. Okay, content. Okay, cannot convert value of type bool. Binding. Okay, we have to add this dollar symbol here. Now here we have to return alert. Return alert. Title will be error. Now we have to pass message. So view model dot error message. Okay, we have to take text here. Text. Here also text. Okay, let me do one thing. Let me so far now this is fine. Okay, so just for getting that error, we can do one thing, going to model, and here we have to do wrong value here, avatar. Okay, now let me run the app. Okay, error, invalid data found. Invalid data, we have done some modification in this user model. So while decoding this JSON data, it is not getting the proper data which is required, so it is showing this invalid data error. Invalid data found. Okay, so let me revert the changes. Okay, now you will not see that. Okay, so this looks good. Okay guys, so this is pretty much about API integration using Async Await with SwiftUI and MVVM architecture. I will add GitHub link for this project in the description. If you like this video, then please subscribe my channel and share this video. Thanks for watching. Keep learning and happy coding.